A little dry. Okay, y'all. So, as I'm sure you have been able to figure out that I am on the move again. I have made my move again. I am further south. I have made it to the good Enola. And I was sitting here thinking, I think I started processing it yesterday. And I almost went live to talk about it yesterday. But I wanted to sit with these thoughts a little bit more before I actually came live to talk about it. So, as those of you who have followed me for a while know that I was born in New Orleans, and I was born in 1977. I was born at Tulane I was born at Charity Hospital on Tulane. Um, After I think when I got like six, when I was turning 6 years old, I moved to Bogalusa to be raised by my grandmother. We were Mardi Gras that happens there, but most of the time for the holidays, holidays, weekends, anytime we were out of school, I kind of went backwards and forwards from Bogalusa to New Orleans. Um, as a child, I really enjoyed Mardi Gras. Throw me something, Mister, catching the beads. Um, but also as a child, I had a very different understanding of myself. As a child, a lot of things had been subconsciously ingrained into my mind's eye that I didn't start to do the work of understanding until I was maybe like in my 20s. Growing up in Bogalusa, which is Choctaw for muddy water. So when I say we got it out the mud, we got it out the mud. But as a child, as a dark skinned child who grew up in a Baptist church, I used to have anxiety all the time when I was a child. Like I used to go outside on Sundays and I used to start hyperventilating. Like I would literally like, hey Anandia, I would have asthma attacks every Sunday. I might get a little emotional in this video, so if I start crying, y'all know this because I'm really like doing some real work on this live. So, I'm glad I have a moderator here who could swing that. Y'all might get a couple of tears. But child. I'm in the South. I'm in Louisiana. So it was a lot of ignorance. I was ignorant about a lot of things. I didn't know myself. I didn't know who I was. I didn't have a clue. And I had to go to church every Sunday. I had to go to Bible study every Sunday. Whenever we had Bible study, Bibles, anything having to do with the church, I had to be there. Even when my grandmother, didn't want to go, I had to go. So, there was no, oh, I'm not feeling well. I could call out of school for I could call out of church, so anyway, it wasn't until I was like 17 or 18 years old that I actually learned about, anything other than the Bible. Like the only book, I did read some Greek mythology. So, we did have access to books about Greek mythology and Norse mythology, oddly enough, in Bogalusa. This is how like, these people know what they be doing. It be strategic. Like, I had access to books about Caucasian deities outside of the Christian faith. Let me say that again. As a child, I had access to books about Caucasian deities outside of the Christian faith, but I did not have access to deities that looked like me. So it wasn't until I was about 16 or 17 years old that I actually saw a black person who was a king or a queen or who was a god or a deity. Like I did not see things like that until I was like 17 years old. I just did not have access to it. You know, the libraries in Bogalusa did not have books that taught us about, you know, black kings and queens, that taught us about black deities, like ancient deities. Like there wasn't, like I read and I couldn't find, it was nowhere in our big library, our library at school. It was not, it just wasn't there. So when I had to go stay in a homeless shelter when I was like 16 or 17 years old, I moved to New Orleans and moved back to New Orleans, and that's when I started to be able to get information about black kings and queens and black, you know, deities and other black people who had martyred themselves, you know, for the progression of our society. You know, like that's when I found out that Jesus wasn't the only person that ever martyred, you know, martyred himself. I found out that there were countless black people who had martyred themselves, you know, to save people, to be a savior, to be a protector of people. They risked their lives, they risked their freedom, they risked their health, they risked it all. You know what I'm saying? Just to see, you know, other people have a fair shake at life, a better shake at life. And then that's when I started to get self esteem and I stopped seeing myself, you know, as this being that I think was being groomed to feel inferior to, you know, other human species. You know, like there was this subconscious playing out in my mind that told me subconsciously that I was inferior to people with straight hair. I was inferior to people with paler skin. I was inferior to people who needed suntan lotion to go outside. I was inferior to them. Subconsciously, this was playing out in my mind. And why wouldn't it? You know, I'm reading a Bible with pictures of white angels and white Jesuses and white Marys and white gods and white just white. You know, just everybody white except the devil. Everybody white except the devil, you know. So that's what I grew up, you know. I'm reading mythological books about Zeus and about Odin and you know, because I read Norse mythology and Greek mythology. I'm reading about Frida and I'm reading about, you know, Apollo and all of these different deities, and all of them, you know, are being depicted as Caucasian. And so this is definitely impacting my view of myself. And so when, you know, people who look like me say that, oh, racism is not real, or, oh, you know, it's all in your mind, oh, let go of slavery, oh, this happened a long time ago, we have to realize that, no, it is not happening in the same way that it happened. It's become like there's two kinds of power. There's soft power, and then they call it what's the other power when they have to use force. But the soft power is when they kind of like manipulate you, but then it's another where they use the full force, the totality of the power. And that's where we are now. They use soft power with us now because they've already used like the really aggressive power where they had to beat us and hang us on trees. And every now and then you'll get, you know, you'll get a little example of that. You know, they'll take somebody and make an example just to bring up that fear in all of us again. Like when you have your George Floyd moments, or when you have your Trayvon Martin moments, or when you have your what's the woman name who got shot inside her house, and the woman who just recently got killed because she said something about Jesus, and she had the boiling water in her hand. Like every now and then those moments will resurface to bring you, to remind you that, hey, you know, we're not using these methods on you mass, as a mass society. Like we're not doing it to all of you, but we're still not above it. Like just so, and what it is it's a spell to reenact that trauma in the masses. Like when they take that one example and they do that, when they did what they did with George Floyd, when they did what they did with Brashear Gray, when they did what they did with Trayvon Martin, that's like because water remembers everything, and you have to understand that we as human beings, we're mostly water. We're mostly made of water. And so once they take an example and they make an example of that one person, then that water that remembers, that holds all of that trauma and all that stuff that our ancestors experienced, it remembers that. And so they use it to make us all remember what our ancestors went through, because we are our ancestors. We hold their memories in our DNA. And no matter what kind of medication, vaccines, or pills they give us to make us forget, we remember. We remember that. Sonia Massey. We remember that water is something in the water, and we start to remember. We start to tap into those memories, and a lot of us, we get scared. We go back to that place of trauma. We go back to that pain. We go back to that fear, and it petrifies us. And some of us, we're held hostage. But I was just thinking, because I made it to New Orleans, for the Mardi Gras, and I was like, why have I never really gotten into Mardi Gras? Like why now that I'm grown? Because I can remember when I was like 19, 20, 21, I used to love, like, I used to be out there in it. I used to be out there catching bees, throw me something, mister. And so it really sat up on my spirit, this rising. So when I woke up, I just, and I know I've done this before. Like, I know I've Googled the story behind Mardi Gras, what Mardi Gras is about. I know I've done it before, but I think I kind of like needed a refresher. So I went to Googling what Mardi Gras was about, even what the colors are about. And so purple is supposed to be for justice. Um Gold is supposed to represent power, and green is supposed to represent faith. And when Mardi Gras first started, it was like after the Christmas holidays, it was a moment for some reason for people to just kind of like be completely debaucherous. Like, it was a moment for, like, that's crazy. Like, and that's what lets you know that there's something about the birth of Jesus that's off, because why would you celebrate the birth of a savior with debauchery? Like, literally, right after Jesus's birth, you children are having orgies. You children are doing all type of sex magic. You children is drinking all type of potions and liquors, because that's what Mardi Gras is about. Mardi Gras is about pure, unadulterated debauchery. And so, right after the Savior comes to the earth, the Catholic Church, in combination, in alliance with the royals, with the royal court and the royals, y'all decide that a season of debauchery is necessary after the birth of the Savior. Child, we gotta make this, baby. I can make this up. Like, literally, this is how it falls. Jesus is born. Jesus born in December, allegedly. Even though the Bible points to Jesus having being born in the summertime, either June or July. But and we know the calendar is off, because it was how many months in a year? It was more months at first. But right after the Savior is born, y'all have a season of debauchery. Now, we know that at one time, Louisiana, before the colonizer came, Louisiana was considered to be the capital of whatever this place was called. I've heard it was called Turtle Island. I've heard other names that I can't recall right now, but that's why Louisiana was such a valuable asset, in this nation building. Like, we say that Washington D.C. is the capital, but really all of the magic and all of the rituals, a lot of that goes on here. They do some of it in California. They do some of it in California, but baby, a lot of that underground, London, a lot of that underground work. Like, when you literally come to New Orleans, if you go on a tour, they're gonna tell you about the witches and the vampires, baby, the lore behind this city. You gotta do a tour. They tell you the lore. That's why they always shooting the vampire movies here, the voodoo, the vampires, all of that, the witches. A lot of those movies are shot here. And it's all, and the reason why the voodoo, the vampire, and the witch movies are shot here is because there's always a little truth to the lies that's being told. There's always a little, like they'll take it and they'll make it into a fairy tale, make it so far fetched that it seemed like none of it's real, but there's truth to it. And literally a lot of those stories, the werewolves, the the vampires, the witches, and then by the city being shaped like a fishbowl, there's that whole Atlantis narrative that's going with it too. So there's a lot of different um elements that make New Orleans the center of a lot of historical lore. But anyway, um, when I used to work at the strip club and Mardi Gras would come, I would get really excited because you know, that's when you made your money. Like, like if you're in the service industry in New Orleans, everybody gets excited when Mardi Gras comes because that's, well, traditionally, I don't know now because everything's so watered down and people don't spend money like they used to. People don't like I think that the conglomerate entities have found a way to make all of the money. So the hotels get the money, the restaurants get the money, the casinos get the money. Like, they really like get the money. You like giving money to people like how they used to back in the day. Like, that's when cash was king, and you get tips and everybody was using cash, and cards was a thing, but people were still using cash 30 years ago. They would use cash a lot more. Like 30 years ago, we used cash a lot more. And so, the little person on the streets, because we didn't have Cash App and we didn't have all of that. So, if you was tap dancing on the street, or if you was a mime, or if you was, running you a little hustle on the streets, you could get you a little money. You can get you a little money. If you're in a strip club, you know what I'm saying? You can get you some tax-free dollars that don't nobody necessarily know about. And so we would really, really get excited when Mardi Gras would come because that was when that cash was coming. Cash moves everything around me. Cream, get the money, dollar, dollar bill, y'all. So we'll be ready to get that money, baby. We put on our best whole clothes, our best strip shoes, and baby, it was money on the floor. Like, like in that movie Players Club, we be clubbing. And so we was literally like that. Mardi Gras was our season. That was when we got our money. That was when we was getting to that bag. And I did I like one Mardi Gras. Everybody was like, everybody else was turning it, and I don't know why I wasn't turning it. I don't know why I couldn't turn it. Like, when I first came to the strip club, I was oblivious to the things that you really had to do to make money. Like, I really just thought it was a fairy tale. I don't think Players Club had really came out yet. I think I was dancing before Players Club came out. So I didn't really understand stood what went into stripping. I just thought you went up in there and you swung around the pole and you danced your little heart out, and that was how you made your money. But it was a lot of things. It was basically just the cover up of the sex ring. And I could go into a whole nother story about that. I'm going to release a play that I've been working on. I'm trying to see which platform I'm gonna release it to, but it's gonna be available for people to purchase the link. But this is a video where we talk about how, the sex industry was once dominated by a black woman whose name was Lulu White, and she had prostitutes of all kind, and she was making money. She was, I think, like a millionaire during this time. And the government came in and seized all of her money and blamed her brothel house for infecting soldiers with diseases, which these soldiers probably caught while they was overseas, but they was able to lie and blame Lulu White and take all of her money from her. And this was during the Storyville era, but what they did was they refunneled the power back to men. So that's how men took over the sex industry, because the sex industry used to be dominated by women. When the king and queen was giving people their freedom, the women who could not find husbands in Europe, like, who, because they were sex workers over there, they were poor, they were considered to be unattractive, they came over to New Orleans for a new start. They came to Louisiana for a new start. And that new start oftentimes involved sex work. And so women were able to clear the market, and they were establishing financial power. Like, if you research Storyville in Louisiana, like, that was a period where a lot of women were like in positions of power, and they would have been able to influence who was going to be in charge. Like, there wouldn't have been a boys club. And so they had to take that power from the women. And how they took that power from the women, because the women were pretty much like the underground thing with the brothel houses and stuff. And so they made up these scandals saying that the women was infecting the men, and they froze these women assets. And I'm sure if it happened in Louisiana, it happened in other parts of the country. But that was how they re-diverted power back to the men. Because if you have millions of dollars, then that's how you're able to really back your candidates, back the people that you want to see in political power. And so by attacking the brothels that were ran by women, they really changed the trajectory of what our political landscape will look like. You gotta understand that, because prostitution didn't go away. It was just rediverted back to the men. So now the men not only have power over the government, they also have power over the sex work industry. So, that was unfortunate for a lot of the women, that they were not able to maintain power in that sense. And then, they started shaming the women, and really, really, like, the church really started shaming prostitution and putting prostitution down. And so you couldn't even say it with your whole chest. You couldn't even be 10 toes down about prostitution, because once they finished putting the church and having the church to condemn prostitution and to shame you, and making it just look so less dignified, like, they really humiliated women. And so now, the best way you can make your money is, being in secret, being in private, working at the strip club, pretending like you in there dancing. But at the end of the day, you giving a lot more. You giving a lot more, because that's what I learned about dancing, honey. Baby, if you really want to make your coin, honey. Now, see, after I became a seasoned girl, I used to know how to go up in there and dance and perform and entertain and get them children. Like, after about 10 years worth of seasoning, baby, I could go up in there and swing around that pole and make it clap and do all type of give the energy. And girl, I have about $250 worth of ones and fives and stuff. So I could make a little change, and didn't have to do nothing by the time I had about 10 years worth of seasoning on me. So by the time I was almost 30, baby, I could go up in there, swing around that pole and dance and use my personality and my charm and my charismatic, and by the end of the night, I have about $250, $300, and I ain't had to do nothing. But see, when you first come in, you don't have all that confidence. You don't have all of that seasoning. And so you got to use what you got. They get what you want. When you first come in, you get run through, you get used up. And that's what happened. So in order to make the money, honey, I had to participate in sex work. And I mean, like, really, really some hard down sex work. And so anyway, back to the Mardi Gras story. So one year for Mardi Gras, I met this man, child. We used to it was an older white man who was a musician. We used to dress them up and call them Misty. And he liked to be beat and topped, and child, it it ended up being a long lasting relationship. And it was just a weird relationship because child, we used to tie this man up. We used to tie this man up on a table, set a bag of snow, set a bag of snow in front of his nose, and tie him up on the table and leave him tied up on the table. And we, be taking his car, going riding in his car, and all types of things done to him. And we'd all take turns diving in them old cookies, at random jail. When we get back from our adventure, girl, we'd all be sitting in the front room watching a movie, and one of us would go into the back and dive in them cookies while he was tied up, plunge them cookies and beat him. And then, later on, another girl would just, go on back in the back and dive in them cookies and beat him, and maybe get a little face or something. And that was, I met him doing Mardi Gras. I met him doing Mardi Gras, and he gave me a nasty coin. Like, I had not made a coin like that. Like, you have to understand that I want to say this was this was nearly 30 years ago. This was probably, no. Yeah, this was like 25 years ago. So having somebody give you like $500, like 25 or 26 years ago, that was a cute coin. That was a cute coin. $500 is worth way more than it is now. Like, I think I got $500 for 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 like being at a group or something like that. Like, like I done got $500 for I done got $1,000 for standing on stage talking for 10 minutes. So, but back then, $500 was a Q coin, and so he started to become a regular after that event. But he really, really, he just liked to be beaten on and misused, and um I almost went into I almost became a dominatrix, because I had a lot of anger towards Caucasian people. And that was a positive outlet for me to take out my anger that I had on Caucasian people because of all of the things that I had internalized. And so I did not mind putting them poppings, and like, I had paddles, I had whips, I had riding crops, and I loved beating them. I literally got aroused from beating them. Now I am a little bit of a control freak still, but it was really bad when I was pre-op. Like, I would literally get extremely aroused from beating on people who I know that have probably done racist things in their life, because you could always tell when a person is capable of being racist. And so it literally would turn me on because I have been called blue gum porch monkeys. I've had Caucasian people to say things to me like, my great great grandpappy used to beat your great great grandpappy, and like, again, call me blue gum porch monkeys. Like, I've had a lot of things to be said to me that were racist. And so I would channel that energy into my dates, and I would say, and I would beat them, but it was always, they would always, it was what they wanted. It wasn't like me just hauling off and beating them. It was what they wanted. I had consent to beat them. And I would beat them until their booties were bruised. I would beat them until their booties were black and blue. Like, I really would, like, I really would beat them. And I think as I got older, I started to feel like a conviction about it. Like, because I started to feel like it was perpetuating this cycle, because once you get that out of you, it's like, have you solved anything? You haven't really solved anything. you've transferred energy, but have you solved the problem? Like, have you done any root work? Like, this momentarily feels good, but have you solved the problem? Like you getting a chance to play the villain, that's justice, but is that healing? Justice does not always equate healing. A lot of people don't want to hear that. Justice, receiving reciprocity does not always equate healing. Like being able to do what was done to you does not always fix a situation. It doesn't always heal a situation. And I'm living proof of that because I've gotten a chance to beat some booties black and blue with whips and riding crops and paddles. And I was swinging and hitting as hard as I possibly could. And it did not take away the pain that I was feeling, it did not take away the emptiness that I was feeling. You know, I've had them to give me money to take care of me in some shape or form. I've had reparations because I've had some white men to literally take care of me for years, to pay my rent, to furnish my house. Like, I've had them to do that. Like, I've had them to pay for everything. I've had them to take me shopping at expensive malls and all of that. Like, I've had them to literally be my servants, to wait on me, to like to do everything for me. And it still, it just made me sicker. It just made me sicker, you know. It just made me sicker. And I think that is the because I noticed that my drug addiction was stronger, you know, during those times. I noticed I was like when I had white men to take care of me and to give me my reparations and to give me my money, um I was sicker, you know, I hated myself more. Um yeah. I didn't feel like myself. And all of this correlates with Mardi Gras because Mardi Gras is really a celebration of it is a spell, it is an incantation upholding the 1%. It is an opportunity for us to stand and do some shit that the royals did hundreds of years ago, wait in the street fighting each other like peasants over material shit. Like, it is an opportunity for us literally, like the symbolism in it. Like, they're like the ones who making money and the ones who coming together, they said that it's like 20 something secret societies that come together to maintain Mardi Gras. 20 something secret societies. They was trying to ban Mardi Gras because it was too debaucherous. But a secret society came back and they did what they needed to say. They wanted to make it more about the balls and they wanted to make it more about the elaborate parties and they wanted to elevate what Mardi Gras was. And this is so crazy that Mardi Gras happens right before the actual New Year starts. And so it's like a spell or an incantation that maintains what's going to happen in the coming year. So like right before we get ready to go into the actual new year, which is in April when the planet comes back, you know, to a life again, when the well, not the planet, because while we're experiencing winter, the other half of the earth is experiencing warmer weather. Like right now, it's warm in South Africa. In South Africa, baby, you can go to the beach. It's warmer times, you know, there. Um, and that's also true for certain parts of America, like Hawaii. But anyway, the sun is not close. Um, is not as close, and so you know things are gonna start to come back alive again, and that is really like the new year. And um, to have this ritual right before the actual new year begins, to have this ritual right before the spring, it's like reinforcing this idea that they're up high on these floats, these kings and queens. And even though they're not actual like monarchs who are ruling over us, it's the symbolism during such a pivotal time, during such a pivotal time in the year, like when we getting ready to go into this actual new year, when we're in divine nine. It's like this Mardi Gras, these floats going down the streets, us standing on the side of these floats like peasants, waiting for these people to throw us trinkets, begging for these people to give us something, fighting and competing to catch this and to receive that, and to get these trinkets from Massa ups on the big float. Oh, he's gives me something. Oh, he's gives me something nice. Oh, I got me something after the parades today. It's just, and that's why I'm thinking about it. I'm like, girl, I'm like, Tila, I'm like, Kaneen, why haven't you been able to get into these parades? Like, what is up with, like, why are you different? Like, why do everybody else like celebrate these parades and let these, like, I can remember the last time I went to a parade, it was with one of my girlfriends. She had never been to one before, so I came for her, and it was in 2019. And I didn't try to catch anything at that parade. And the last time I went to one of my own volition that I wanted to go to, I think it was like 2002 or 2003. Like, I really don't do the parades. I really don't do them. And so many people in my family, they get excited. They really, really look forward to it. The children being able to march in the parades, and it's just really a big deal. But I just think that people don't really realize subconsciously the spell that's being cast, and what they are committing to, what they are agreeing to in the ritual. A lot of people don't realize that some of the most powerful rituals are done right in front of your face. Some of the most powerful rituals and some of the most powerful magic, it seems so simple, and you just wouldn't even, like, it fly right over people's head. It fly right over people's head. And they don't even have to hide. It'd be right there in plain sight. And all they got to do is give you some nice cups, like the symbolism, golden balloons and cups and beads, and just being willing to do all of these things, like making women show their breasts to get something. Like, it's just like, it's like signing a contract, because your participation is your signature. And so you are participating in this ritual that places you as like the peasants, waiting for the royals to come through and give you some crumbs, give you just a smidget of their resources, give you just a smidget, just a taste. And you're willing to fight in the streets like Hunger Games for a taste. hmm It's, it's to repeat the deep rooted trauma that keeps people mentally sick. It's given very Gregorian. The headquarters of magic is in New Orleans. I definitely believe it. It's crazy as, yeah, Coven, American Horror Story. They told a lot of truth about Marie Laveau. Money make the coochie go woo woo. The punks using women as groomed products. I had to tell a woman this today because they was looking at this video of these two gay men, and one of the women. It's always black women. Like I don't know what to do with my sisters. But she was like, Lord, bring our real men back. And I responded, and the way she spelled Lord was Lawd. And I said, Lord, who is Lord? Sound like you praying to mass him up on the plantation. I said, you ready to bring back the heifers and the studs for the plantation? I know that's right. Baby, she got mad. She said, I would entertain you, but I'm on the toilet right now. I said, well, that's funny because that's where I responded to you at from the toilet. And she was like, I bet you was. I said, well, that is what we deal with Dookie, ain't it? From the toilet. Because this is shit right here. So so she said, what is you on some dog food or some heroin or something like that? I said, um, and what you on? I think I called her um Mammy Shakunda. And because when she did the dog food and what you want, some heroin or some dog food, I said, oh, we going below the belt, huh? All right, Mammy Shakunda. And she called me RuPaul and then she blocked me. She knew she was about to get that everlasting work. So she blocked me before she get that everlasting work because I was gonna tell her, really honestly and truly, I was just gonna repeat, yes, I am RuPaul, and you're still Mammy Shakunda. Then one person in the comment section gonna tell me I need to go pick up the Bible. Boo, y'all love saying go pick up that Bible and read your Bible, but the Bible was written by a punk too. The Bible was created by the punks too. So you look real foolish telling me telling me to go pick up a Bible that some fucking fad wrote. That's real smart of you. That's real smart of you trying to read me and tell me you need Jesus, you need the Bible. Punks did that too, baby. It was written by punks. Punks. You hoes around here praying to punks. Girl, stop. Worshipping punks and following punks, but then you won't get mad at the punks. Make that shit make sense. Mm-hmm. The church is heavily connected to the sex industry. The gag. This is tea. Trial and error. I can sense 500 was equivalent to 1,000 back then. Oh yes, oh yes, it was a coin. It was a nasty coin, baby. You could pay rent and have a little change left over with $500. Yes, ma'am, honey. When I was in my 20s, I had when I was like, I want to say I was like 19, 20 years old. Child, we had a two-story apartment and we was paying like 300 and something dollars, like maybe 300, 360 or something like that. And we had a 17 stairs. We had bedrooms upstairs, honey. We had a nice, we wasn't even spending, baby, 300 and something dollars. And baby, we was young, so we could walk to the French Quarters from where we was at. We was a jump, skip, and a hop from the business district. Yes, ma'am. If I'd have known better, I would have never gave up that house because it was sickening. It was uptown. The location was cute. We was just doing too much. We was just doing too much in that house. Like we was. I remember one time we had Trade to come over, me and my girlfriend, and see, I was always the one in the group that thought that could see the future and really thought how this is gonna work out. Like I always was a person who was able to look at the bigger picture. I never was just that person who was focused on what's going on right now. I always was trying to look at variably, and I think that's that Gemini in me because Geminis are analytical. So I'm always looking into the different ways that this could turn out, the different ways that this could potentially go. Like that's very much my narrative. I'm always trying to figure out, okay, this could end up like this could end up like this, or this could end up like this, or this could end up like I'm very much that person. So I remember one time we brought a boy home and it was three of us. It was we all three was friends and it was three of us and we brought this boy home, me and my girlfriends, and we used to have like this competition where we would get like fancy bottles and we smoked cigarettes during the time. So even when we was having trade just for fun, we want trade to buy cigarettes and buy weed and buy a bottle, buy a nice bottle of liquor, some Hennessy, some type of top shelf liquor, some Crown. Crown was really the shit back then, like Like 30 some years ago, Crown was the shit. Like, so like Crown and Hennessy was the shit. So when you got like bottles like that, you was like, oh yeah, girl, he bought me some Hennessy, girl. Yeah, he bought me some Crown, girl. You know, we used to think we was really, really doing it because we would get the trades about the bottles, you know, and so we'll keep the bottles on the shelf and be like in a competition for who got the grandest bottle, who got the biggest bottle. Like we was, it was foolish, I know, but we was barely like our brain hadn't finished developing. So so one day we having the boys, we having a boy, and the boy pulled out a gun and put, so we was sniffing some snow off of his piece, and we was doing lines off of his piece and giving him some face, and giving, like and then we'll so we was gouging, we was sniffing and gouging. So he pulls out his gag and he puts it to my sister's dome while she gouging, and she keep on sucking, and I'm like, okay, girl, it ain't that right or die. Like, it's not. I'm just not that right or die. You not finna have no loaded gun to my head while I'm giving you head. I don't. It's not that much. It's not that much dust, snow, cocaine in the world that's gonna have me around here, giving sloppy toppy with a loaded gun to my head. And so I didn't say anything in that moment. I didn't panic in that moment, but I will never forget that moment. And I was petrified. I played it off. I didn't make it known that I was scared, but I did not like that. I was not comfortable with that. That was not something that I wanted to see being a norm. And so when things happened in the neighborhood and I was seeing how it was playing, I was like, no, I said, this is like, we doing too much. Like, this is how all the girls wind up in execution style. And like, this is how Trey come in and do some fuck shit to all of us, like making moves like this, allowing ourselves to get into this situation. This will open one door and another. So when I saw that, that was the beginning of the end of that apartment for me, because I was the one who paid the rent and the deposit. My name was the first name on the lease. If I was to move out of there, they wasn't gonna be able to pay the rent, so I wasn't about to stay there because I saw what it was giving. One girl, she was buying the food. The other girl might pay a light bill here and there, but I was the one who was paying the bulk of the bills because I was doing survival sex work, and I was working at a fast food restaurant, and I was getting my little benefits. So because that was before I turned 26, so I was still very young. So I was getting my SSI, I was doing a little survival engagement, and I had like a little part-time job working at like a fast food restaurant. So I was the one that was paying the majority of the bills. I was the one that was making sure that everything stayed afloat. And what I'm not fixing to do is be paying all these bills for y'all to be putting us in harm's way, making all of these reckless ass decisions. So it was like, we got to roll up out of here. And like, if you go, and so I ended up going to Alexandria, and child, that's a whole nother chapter of my life that I will have to discuss on another live, because girl, that was where I was on Ricky Lake at. Like, that was where I called into the Ricky Lake show, and I ended up being on the Ricky Lake show. But that's a whole nother thing. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about my my struggle with Mardi Gras. And it was something else that I wanted to talk about in this video that was in relation to that, but I can't seem to think of it right now. But all of it has to do with just like giving consent to these oppressive situations, like looking at the ways in which my ancestors um give consent, looking at the ways in which the gay community gives consent, the queer community, the trans community, like looking at all of these ways in which we give consent. And somebody, and this is off topic. This is off topic, but I definitely want to say this. So somebody responded to um the video that I made about Flame Monroe and the things that I said about Flame Monroe, and people are like, "Well, it's the hypocrisy for me. It's you jumping on the bandwagon. It's you jumping off the bandwagon, and you saying all of these things about T.S. Madison, and then when it comes to Flame, you making excuses for her." So basically, what I'm hearing is that y'all are upset with Flame because Flame, and I'm not saying that Flame is doing this, but y'all love calling people grifters. Y'all love saying that, y'all love calling cis people grifters. Y'all love, like, this is where I got the language from, calling Candace Owens a grifter, because I've heard so many black people call Candace a grifter. So, but it's crazy, like, y'all are mad at um Flame when Flame, if Flame is running a con, or if Flame is saying some things, she's saying it to cis people. She benefits from cis people. Y'all don't book her. Like the gay community, the trans community don't book this lady. This lady ain't booked and busy within the trans community. Y'all don't promote her. Y'all don't give her life like that. So like if she is running a scam or a grift, she doing it with the cis people. She doing it with the straight people. So y'all mad because she not grifting y'all like some of y'all faves? You mad because you would rather her be telling you what you want to hear and be focused on getting them coins out of y'all pocket than for her to be telling the cis people what they want to hear, getting them coins out their pocket. I'm trying to figure out at the end of the day which one is more problematic, being someone who feeds into the ideologies of what cis people think, feeding into their narratives, calling yourself a he, calling yourself a man, calling your community men in order to make cishet people feel comfortable, or being in your community, getting all the language right, saying everything that you want trans and non-binary to people to hear, but really legit only doing it to get you a coin. Like really not being invested in the overall progression of your people, just more so about lining your pockets. Which narrative is more problematic? Which narrative is more problematic? That's what I want to have a conversation about. If anyone's really willing to have that conversation, then baby, book the space. Let's have a panel discussion. Cause I'm here for it. Cause I'm tired of you bitches running your mouth in my comment section. Book a space. Let's have a panel discussion. Put some funding behind it. Get a grant. Let's do a panel. Cause I will eat all of you bitches up. I will eat you bitches alive because you hoes love tap dancing in my comment section. You hoes love tap dancing on my videos. Put some money behind it. I dare any one of you bitches to get a grant and create a panel and put me on that panel because I will eat you bitches alive. You won't be able to block me after you done said what you said, like some of y'all did in that Girls Like Us group. You got your little piece in and you knew I was coming back and you hurried up and hit that block button. But when you hoes are really ready to talk about what's more problematic and what's more harmful to our community, let's have a panel discussion. And I promise you, I don't have to eat a greasy pork chop to eat now one of you bitches up. All of y'all that like to tongue wrestle with me in the comment section and question my integrity, question my loyalty, simply because I refuse to paint Flame as a person who doesn't exist, or to reduce Flame to a man or a drag queen when realistically that's what they called all of us. That's what they called me. I remember it. I used to be called a drag queen before there was the word trans, before Massa gave us the word trans. I was called a female impersonator before Massa gave us the word trans. I was called a crossdresser before Massa gave us the word trans. Then once Massa gave us the word trans, some of y'all felt like it was your divine right and your calling to critique and gatekeep who gets to be called trans. And it's giving very much Mammy, Pick Misha, Delulu May, and Shakunda. Just because somebody ain't doing it like you think they should do it. Sigil magic enters people's consciousness to accept slavery. It's symbolism, giving one's soul for a necklace. Throwing crumbs equals beads. Subliminal, to let the people know who's in control. This is healing. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I can definitely see this 100. It's universal law. So the owners never have to face their karma. And what I want to see, I the ancestors had gave me something that was very beautiful. I think that, and I'm gonna say a little bit of it here, but I want to save the bulk of this conversation for the Zoom call that I'm trying to plan next month, well, that I'm gonna plan next month. But I want to create a reality where the wealthy have to, every 3 years, spend time living in poverty. Like if you are a billionaire or a multimillionaire, there's a reality, there's a law, there's an ancestral law that says if you've amassed this amount of money, then every 3 years you have to live in poverty. Every 3 years you have to take a whole year, a whole year, that whole cycle to live in poverty. Like in order to bring balance. Because I think that if if the extremely wealthy found out that they could not escape poverty even by amassing wealth, even by amassing obscene amounts of wealth, then would it really make sense to be extremely wealthy if you knew on the third year, at the end of that third year, you were gonna have to spend 365 days in poverty, mental poverty, emotional poverty, financial poverty, like a reality where of those who were super greedy and hoarded wealth, once you reach a certain economic threshold, you would just be thrown as a law into poverty because you have abused resources, you have abused wealth. And so our ancestors would intercede, and those who abuse power, those who abuse resources, those who abuse wealth would, every third year, at the end of that third year, they could not avoid going into to live into the lowest form of poverty imaginable. And this would be a cycle that will repeat itself every trinity, every at the end of every third year. I think that would create like a huge, like that would, I think that would help to bring balance to this plane. Because what happens with the extremely wealthy is they dodge that that space in which helps them to stay rooted, helps them to be reminded that you are not above this. Like you are, like there has to be some type of law, there has to be some type of karmic thing, and it should not go on for generations and generations without being checked. And so at this point, I'm Like, I don't know, maybe that's what I would want to be in my next incarnation, to be a deity, to be an energy powerful enough to be able to um be that force, to be able to walk in and just upset your finances, to be able to just upset your whole reality, because you are like to come in and to inspect your life and to observe you. And when I see that you've allowed wealth to make you forget where you come from, because whoever the ancestor that's supposed to be checking this, whoever is the force that's supposed to be checking this, I'm wondering, where are you now, Buki? What are you doing? Where are you, Buki? Where are you, Buki Boo? And my grandmother always said, if it's not being done, maybe you were called to do it. So who knows? Maybe in my next reincarnation, I will be a force that is not physical, but a force that will be able to take different shapes and take different forms, and to step into your life and say, okay, so you've reached a certain threshold of wealth. You seem to have forgotten where you came from. You seem to not have balance here. So let me help you with that. Into poverty you go. And if you play with me, it'll be your whole family, not just you. It'll be your whole family. It'll be you, your children, your grandchildren, your aunties, me, you, your mama, and your cousin too. All of y'all. Into poverty you go. And those who are experiencing poverty, the ones who are experiencing poverty and working really hard to grow, for that year, they will replace you in your wealth. Mammy Shakunda. Exactly. Go pick up a punk slave book. They telling you that you need massa the whole time. Zeus did a number and extra and a extra sum on these halflings' minds. You have not found your channel. I have not long found your channel and been started watching you, and I will get your name here mixed up with Kaneen Ivory Wayne's brother, Keenan. Anyway, hey, what? That's the same thing that happened to Maddie with the gun pointed at her head, forced her to give John head. Child, he didn't force her to. She wanted to. It turned her on. That was the last and final straw. I would love to hear that story one day. A drifter. I think I heard you use that word. Grifter, not drifter. Yes, grifter. Grifter means a con artist, a hustler, scammer, telling you what they want to hear so they could get money out you. Doing raccoon activity, exactly. Not gotta like a joke when someone say gotcha. I mean, I know now. The gag is they want to call everyone a grifter, but will do the most grifting and contribute nothing to the community. You better say that. Leave no evidence on the plate. Flame, all right, though we as queens, not all the same. Exactly. That part. There is so much to do as Bush Queen in drags. Kelly Mezerahi, aka Gigi Gorgeous, and the other name I heard be called herself. Those billionaires wouldn't last. Not even a week of the idea. Unless they're frugal, they won't last 2 days. As child said that. Nadia said I give it 4 hours. Well, they would have to last a year. the heavy amounts of humbling these motherfuckers will have. Mm-hmm. One thing I disagree with Flame about though, she will say she's not speaking for the LGBT or trans woman, just herself, but then make a comment for all trans women claiming what they should and shouldn't, who we are. I mean, I haven't, like, I watched Flame, and when I went and watched a couple of her videos lately, and they tried to get her to get into it with they tried to get her to get into it with Cherry the Boom. And she was at a show and they said she was no, she was live, and somebody came and they asked her about Cherry the Boom, and she said, I have nothing to say about that. She said that was years ago. She's doing her thing and I'm doing mine. So, Flame has said some things in the past, but I really don't think Flame is trying to be as problematic as people are making her out to be, because if she really just wanted to be messy, she could have just, I'm gonna be messy and I'm gonna say what I said. But when they tried to get her to be messy, talking about Cherry the Boom, she said that girl, that video that Tasha K released was 2 years ago. That was years ago. I don't have nothing to say about that girl. That girl ain't saying nothing about me. I ain't saying nothing about that girl. That girl is doing her thing. I'm doing mine. So, that's what I got. So it's not like the lady just sitting around looking for reasons to read the girls. That would be a sight to see, divine intervention, the whole family tree going into poverty if you keep on playing. The whole family tree is going into poverty. The whole family tree is going into poverty. I'm a pin that. Bitch, the whole bitch, your whole bloodline, bitch. All y'all. Bitch, everybody. I might be the motherfucking I might be the motherfucker that might say that, but afterwards transition, I don't call me both him or he or biologically male. You can say trans woman. I like Flame when I first saw her on BET Comic View, and that I said, "What is that, queen?" Oh, thank you, Anandia. Saw you on 125th the other day. You may have saw me on 125th about a month ago. Cause cause I ain't been in New York since I ain't been in New York since, yeah, I ain't been in New York in about 3 weeks. I was just in Georgia and now I'm in New Orleans. So it wasn't the other day, baby. It was probably about a month ago. I'm trying to think. When did I leave again? Yeah, I left at the end of I left at the end of January. Yeah, so you ain't see me none of February because I've been gone all of February. Yeah, no. Yeah, no. It was in January. If you did see me, it was definitely at the end of January. Cause I live there. I'm just not there now. Yeah. And it would be by the 4 train on 125th. Yeah, but that's definitely what I was just talking about. Like I really just had to they hate Cherry the Boom. That's why they try to make other trans or everyone else go against her and get into it with her. They mad. She clap back on haters. Though sometimes she come off raspy and rude for no reason. You better play the whole tape. Come on, Layla. I know when people see you, they be seeing a unicorn. And I that's why I don't like to go out unless my energy right, because I hate to go like and be on the train or be in public transportation and and be like negative. Like I definitely hate that. Like to be in public and to be like not be on a frequency um that people can feel a connection with. Like, that's why if my energy not right and I know it's not right, either I'm gonna reschedule the appointment or I'm gonna get me a Uber. Cause I'm very much like a person who believe in protecting my energy. Like that is very much where I am at this time in my life. I'm protecting my energy at all costs. I used to be the type of person that would be trying to save a dollar, and I would like put myself in hostile situations just trying to save a dollar, and I learned that like if I'm going somewhere and I know that my energy needs to be on point when I get to the place that I'm going to, and I know that I want to be in good spirits. That's why when you're an artist, that's why when you are a storyteller, when you are a person who is your work is being a light, being an inspiration, you have to do everything you can to protect that light. And that's why now, honey, baby, if I need to, I'm gonna get me a car there and a car back, not have to deal with as many people, so that when I get to the space, I could be focused, because you never know, something crazy could happen on the train, something crazy could happen on the bus, and it could just offset your energy, and then you won't be bringing the energy that you meant to bring it. So that's why I'm very careful about how I treat myself. I don't allow myself to be stressed out and rant. Like if I gotta go somewhere and I'm expected to speak or I'm expected to say some words of encouragement, child, if y'all ain't paying for no car for me to get there and y'all not paying for no car for me to get back, you really didn't want me to come. Cause asking me to come and navigate the elements and knowing that I'm an empathic person, knowing that I feel everything that's around me, and to not be concerned about my safety getting to that space and getting back from that space. Not finna let y'all come feed off me and eat off me, and you wasn't even worried about my safety. You wasn't even worried about how I got there and how I got back. You wasn't worried about my mental state getting there, and you weren't worried about my safety getting back. So now, so now, and I used to be a person that, oh no, I'm gonna save that money. Oh no, I could use that money to get me a bag of weed. Oh no, I could use that money to get me something to drink. Oh no, I could use that money to go get me something. No, no, I'm gonna use this money for Uber because I need to protect my peace. Everything else gonna work itself out. That's why you need the alcohol, and that's why you need the weed, because you weren't protecting your peace initially. If you'd have protected your peace in the first place, you wouldn't have needed the alcohol or the weed. So always prioritize your peace. That way you could mitigate some of that other stuff that you have to use to get yourself back into that place of peace. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you remember Kimura. I hate trans. They hate trans women and want to see every one of trans women get hurt by men, especially. And I hate what happened to you, Kaneen, that you almost got attacked or jumped. Thank you, Yumi. Protect your light, because your life depends on it. That's right. Your light is sacred and special. Thank you, Anandia. When I rewinded and went back and heard the rest of one of your whole prior videos, I hate how they try to attack you or jump you. S5 says, I won't cut corners when my spirit matters. Exactly. You better say that, S Child. Uh, you can't light other people's candles when theirs are dim. Okay, okay. She had said that, huh, Anandia? No half-assing yourself. Exactly. 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 No half-assing yourself. And that's the point of it all. Baby, when it comes to you, baby, take care of you. Take care of you. Treat you sacred. Treat you valuable. Treat you important. Set the standard, honey. And be doing the work. Do the work. I came down here to perform at this event, and I don't know if I'm gonna be doing it because um I reached out to him the other day and asked him because I'm not being paid to do the event. So I reached out to him the other day and I asked him could I bring three friends with me to the event, and he have legit not responded. And like I'm performing for free. I travel down here on my own dime, to support the event. Things just have not been, like there's been no rehearsal. There's been no, I don't even know what number I am. Like, we haven't discussed the layout, like what number I'm going to be on the show. Like, there's just not been enough communication. And so, like, I asked you, could I bring three other people with me? And I said that the other people I was going to get to pay. But just the communication has been so poor. It's like, should I really subject myself to, like doing this performance? And so, like, do I really need to do this event that bad? And so it's like, I think I'm just gonna ask, them, can we have like a little something around the house, and I'll just do it here, like do a performance here, at the D spacecraft, because I'm not finna to try to go and jump on nobody's stage who, like, literally I messaged you and asked you could I bring three people, and bitch, you ain't even responded to the message. So it's like you already letting me know how you giving it up. Like, it's been some flaky things that I have saw and I was willing to overlook it, but like now I'm like Cause it was like for me, this was the opportunity to pay my dues, because I told y'all I was trying to branch outside of just doing things in the queer community and just doing things for trans events. And so this was an opportunity for me to work with some cisgender artists. I think all of them queer, and they, like, bitch, low key, I think everybody queer. But like I think everybody have it in them. I don't think everybody always act on it, but I do think that everybody is capable of some lesbian, bulldagger, homosexual, transsexual. Everybody is capable of the foolishness. But yeah, I was trying to branch out into working with groups like that. And so this was my opportunity. But like I said, he's been doing some things where I'm like, I don't know if I want to align myself with that. Like, and this is already like pro bono. Like, because I'm trying to, like, show you that I'm solid and that you could depend on me. But then when I reach out to you and I ask you, can I bring a couple of people to perform with me? Can I bring a little entourage, since, you're not paying me and I came down here on my own volition to show my loyalty and to show my commitment, and you're not even responding? Well, you know what? Let me just, make better use of my time. Mm-hmm. Thank you for the purple hearts, preach sis. That's someone else. Watch as a child. That's how you know. When I found out about Kaneen from Maddie talking, I wanted to see them, and I was like, who is this queen? You look good, too sexy. Clock it. Child, everyone is queer. A lot of motherfuckers are good at hiding it, and the rest not so much. My color, like Maddie, and Raven complexion. I think Maddie is a little bit darker than Raven, though. Maddie ain't that light skinned. She have used a little bleaching cream and gotten a little lighter. But Maddie ain't red bone yet. Raven is red bone. Raven is a red bone. Now, y'all make sure, y'all that don't have the monitoring spirits, y'all come on here and y'all click that thumbs up button. I need some of these 11 to go and click that thumbs up button because six of y'all done already done it. I need some more y'all to click that thumbs up button. Do you still talk to the girl from Tea Time, New York? I talk to Ashley from time to time. I haven't talked to Ashley in a long time though. Like me and Ashley, but you know we cool. Like beef with her or nothing like that. Right, right. You know they acting funny with that thumb. I guess the rest of the people on here is just like monitoring spirits jail. The ones who loyal to the channel and really support the network, you know, they've already given their thumbs up. They were all, oh, okay, I got another thumbs up. Well, it's another loyal one out of the ones in the tattoos. Okay, I can appreciate that. Well, thank you so much for the seven. You know, it'd be cute if I could get nine thumbs up though, since it's 2025. At least a good nine thumbs up. So if I could get two more people to hit that thumbs up button, that would be amazing. Give me old nine. Oh wow, that is nine. That is, and so you better go ahead and point that out, Anandia. Look, I was trying to get nine and I already had nine, huh? Well, I'm somewhere in there with complexion. Okay, okay. Well, we got eight now. We got no eight. Okay, come on, eight now. So what that is? That's 11. Yeah, that's 11. That's two. Ashe. Who is Ashley? Can I check her out? Find out about them. Yeah, Ashley's really light skinned as well. Ashley is really light skinned. Ashley has a she does, I don't know if she's still posting on Instagram, but she does Tea Time. She does the Tea Time network on she does the Tea Time network on Instagram. But yeah, Chad, that's what I really wanted to talk about today was the whole carnival thing and just how I've lost interest. That's how I lost interest. If you go to Instagram though and put in tea time, like just put the tea and then put time Time, tea time network, her platform will come up. And you could also Google Ashley Breath. Breathe. It might be breathe. I think it's breath though. I remember Ashley was on the grapevine with a lot of BQs. They dominated the conversation, and she had only 5 seconds to speak about trans issues. Oh my goodness. But Ashley is super creative and she makes music. She makes music. She does videography. She knows how to edit, produce. She's good at communication. Yeah, she has a lot of different gifts, like so many of us in this community, you know. But yeah, so I'm just really feeling different about Mardi Gras this year. Like I'm just not in that place of like I'm kind of happy about it though because I swear I thought I was gonna come out. Yeah, I don't know about a YouTube channel. I know she have Facebook and she have Instagram, but you know I want to give a little something for Mardi Gras, but just just to channel some of the energy, but I really want to I think I gotta do the words of the week and I was supposed to do it yesterday. I did not do it. So either I'm gonna do it today or that's gonna be my priority tomorrow. And I wanna figure out a way to transmute some of this Mardi Gras energy on my platform, to talk about some things, um and to give a different voice to Mardi Gras. And I know that my platform is not huge and a lot of people will probably not see the message, but I want to take some time to kind of like brainstorm. I think that this was part of it, definitely having this conversation, definitely being vulnerable. You know, when I first got down here, Child, I had fun. I haven't broke my promise to myself about being sexually active. I haven't done that. But I did participate in some party favors. There was a fire burning, there was tequila, there was wine, there was weed, there was other things. And I was dancing and I was feeling oh yes but there was no sex. There was no I didn't run the streets, I didn't go out. I was in a safe space and I got my life. I channeled some ancestors. I gave my little cut up. I might have slipped and fell in the snow. But yeah, I gave a little cut up. And yesterday I just kind of like I made like this vegan gumbo. I took care of myself. I took care of myself health wise. Um, I took care of myself health wise. I just rested, drank tea, replenished my body, put the things that I needed back in my body. And I just took it easy. I didn't really post. I posted toward the end of the day, and I just relaxed. I drank my tea, I drank my mushroom coffee. I made this big beautiful gumbo with lion's mane and trumpet mushrooms and okra and tomato and onions and bell peppers and celery and bay leaves and cayenne pepper. Like I just made this big old pot of vegan gumbo, and I drank tea and I drank mushroom coffee, and I just really just took care of myself. But when I came out the first night, it was one of my close friends' birthday, and so we like celebrated, and so we listened to records, and we had a fire, and we danced, and we drank, and we was married. We had fun, and it was spiritual. Like it was very, very spiritual. It was a safe space and it was spiritual. And that meant a lot to me. So like that was what happened. And so that kind of threw my schedule off as far as like production wise, but I really feel like I needed that, just spiritually. I needed that moment, to just cast it to the side and just to be human, just to have that full human moment. And um and we saw a spirit, and the fire burned the whole night. It was just really, really beautiful. Like it was a really beautiful night. um so yeah. And so then after that I started processing Mardi Gras and just what it means to me. And I'm just in a different place, you know, with all of this. I'm just in a different place with all of this. Mardi Gras energy is a siphoning ritual. Mm. But it can be alchemized. And that's what I want to take some time to like figure out. How can I alchemize it? Like what way, like I want to be a part. Maybe that's because they was so important. So what way can I alchemize that energy? Like what can we do to alchemize that energy? I can't smoke anymore like I used to. The high hits very different now than before. Chill, I be paranoid. So, like literally one joint for the whole day, for the whole day. If I do, oh come on, vegan gumbo. I know some vegan sausage and shrimp that would mimic the actual gumbo, but I know the mushrooms hit. Child, when I tell you it was amazing, it was amazing, Anandia. It was amazing. It was amazing. Well, child, let me get off this live. It's been an hour and a half. I am going to, if I don't do the words today, I'm just gonna lay back and think about how I'm going to, lay back and think about how I'm going to, use this time in New Orleans to re-alchemize that energy. Like that's what I'm gonna think about. And so I may come back live tomorrow. I really haven't been worried about going live that much on TikTok because, TikTok really, really irritates me with how you see a lot of people who are not invested in our liberation as black people, as queer people, commodifying our intellectual property. Like, if I see if I see some more Caucasian people doing Kendrick Lamar, they not like us. Like, I know this could not have been the plan to have white people talking about something they not like us and prophetizing us, still literally like being the same, like literally prophetizing, like commodifying your art. Like this what you really saw, like Kendrick, this was this was the vision, to see little Caucasian children, little wealthy Caucasian people who, you know what I'm saying, living above their means and have time to sit around and make TikTok videos, like commodifying your intellectual property, talking about some they not like us. Like, girl, I'm just like, I can't do it with TikTok right now. I thought I was gonna be more excited about TikTok, but it's just like I be like, I post on there, but I don't like, I just, chair, it's too much. Like, I'm scrolling down the timeline and all I see is, just people who I know are not invested in our liberation, who are not invested in seeing us move up to the next level, or who are not interested in seeing us, you know what I'm saying, receive equity and reparations. Like, people I know not invested in that. Just so we're talking about, I'm slipping, I'm sliding, and wop, 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 wop. Like, I'm like, what? What is this? What is this? And this is not said from a place of racism or prejudice. This is just like, what is this? What are we doing here? Like, y'all trippy. And let me get off of here because this is triggering me. This is very much triggering to me. The world love Kendrick, they not like us. Kamala flying, dumb of flying. Our TikTok is giving cut and paste. They not like us as the golden ticket to white people to equate in black culture and spaces to profit as much as they can. Girl, Kamala Fire. Girl, yes ma'am. Kendrick said wop wop wop. Popcorn activity. No, it's dumba dumbalifying. Girl, when I tell you I just can't, girl. Dumbala Harris dancing at White House party. Girl, when I tell you I just can't, girl. Like, I'm on TikTok, I'm like, girl, it's everywhere, girl. And they be so serious, girl. I saw a white couple the other day in this big old gorgeous home, girl. Talking about some, I'm slipping, I'm sliding, I'm wop, wop, wop. I'm like, what? Girl, what? Is this what the world has come to? Is this what we doing? Is this what? And then the moment black people do that shit, y'all like, but now y'all like it, it's okay. Girl, I'm like, no, girl, this was not. Girl, I understand, you know, music is universal and it connects us all, but baby, I need for you to have some type of skin in the game. Like, I need for this to be real for you. Like, when you see people literally walking in bell bottoms, like when you see wealthy Caucasians walking in bell bottoms laughing, joyfully in their big beautiful homes, just like marking him and like copying him, like it takes all of the heart and the struggle, and it just really, it makes it so empty, it makes it so hollow. Like, that song is just hollow now. It took all of the soul out of it. It just like stripped it of the soul. I was like, bitch, I can't stand to hear that song now. Bitch, they had that song on commercials, bitch, like promoting shit, like on commercials. And I know y'all want me to be like, it's a black person winning, be happy. But at what cost? Cause who not like you now? Who the fuck you talking about? And this is when you go back to understanding that some things are meant to be sacred for a reason. Yay! Them old white MF saying wop wop wop. Girl, I'm gagging, girl. Next, they gonna have a soul train. Very hollow, and the season has been diluted. I wish me and you had got along because you're smart and brilliant. Oh, Bayside, girl, I'm not mad at you no more, girl. Bitch, I was never mad at you, girl. You was mad at me. Yeah, girl, I wish we wouldn't have got into it either because I love you too, girl. Yeah, girl. I was. I love Soul Train and the dog Cornelius. Well, girl, that is water under the bridge for me, sister. I did not stay mad. We all go through our seasons, and I figured that shit was bigger than me. I didn't think it was all about me. I did not think it was all about me. But I think I may have triggered something. Um, that is that the real base Sade in the chat. Yeah, that's her. Cause girl, that's her. That's her Libra ass. I was thinking of y'all in that interview years ago. I know, right? Yeah, girl. But yeah, girl, like it's just devastating to me to see where the world has come. Uh okay, now you done added an I. You done added you a little I to the lay lim layla, huh? I mean, that would spell it like lay, like L-I, like Lei would spell lay, like you trying to be all punctual. But yeah, but it's Lelimlelur. So it really sound more like Lelim Leler rather than Laylim Layler. Like if you spell it how it, like if you say it how it actually sound, like it's Lelim Layler, but we pronounce it Laylim Layler. So it's Lelimlelur. Yeah, it's not grammatically correct the way that I spell it. No, it's not grammatically correct. But we don't really do things grammatically correct around here. Oh, man, we just make up words. Bitch, we make them work, bitch. Bitch. Yeah. Uh, but you remember it though. Well, damn. Okay. Me damn. Opinion. Your politically incorrect is our love language. Okay. Very politically incorrect, honey. We love to be politically incorrect around these parts. But girl, that made my day. That made my day that, that me and you was able to have this exchange today. Because it really take I've always known that you've had your own character, your own personality, and have been able to think for yourself. And I felt like me and you had a bond. Now, I'll be honest and say I was in a different headspace when Lucy was on my platform and I let her say those things that initiated the beef. For me, the way that I was looking at it, not to rehash what happened, was okay, we gonna have in our community, we're gonna report on each other. Like we're gonna talk about like everybody was rising up to be celebrities and we're reporting on each other. That's the way that I was looking at it. Versus me talking about people outside the community, I'm gonna talk about popular people on people that I know, people that I watch. And so that's the way that I looked at it. I looked at it as we just out here reporting on each other. We're creating our own network and all that. And thinking about it, the relationship that me and you had, I probably should have reached out to you and said, "Hey, girl, we're probably gonna be talking about you on the platform." Maybe, girl, I could have reached out because I did have your number. I could have reached out to you and said something, But girl, I was like back in that time, girl. I was like, girl, we all out here, girl. We just gonna be reporting on each other, girl. We just gonna be talking about each other. And I didn't know it was gonna wear you out like that, sister. I didn't know you was gonna get that mad, sis. But you can't tell a bitch how to feel. But it really wasn't like in my mind, I wasn't saying, girl, fuck you, I don't fuck with you. I'm like, girl, we just reporting on each other, girl. We just running it up, girl. We talking. Like I wouldn't have got mad if somebody would have reported on me and would have talked about me. But when I think about it, I know that you did have a certain amount of respect for me, and you did put me on a pedestal, and that may have hit different coming from me. But I was looking at you as a girl who was breaking all these stories, and you was really popular on Bigo at the time. I was like, she not gonna mind this. She gonna look at this like some. She gonna look at this like, this is Prince, girl. This is attention, girl. Like I wasn't thinking you was gonna get mad like that, girl. But girl, that's what happened, girl. But I didn't stay mad. That's why sometimes you just gotta we just have to give each other space. Give each other give people space. Yes, girl, you have been quiet. Hmm. I feel like we had a bond too. Yeah, we did. I mean, just for today on here to chat. I love your energy, Sade Pooh. Yeah, you brought up that interview. You brought up that interview with Ashley a couple of times. And I feel like that interview is like that was like the summoning, like, cause you brought up that interview a couple of times. You would think. See me and Patty. Come on together, this and them did. OMG, thank you. Oh, I wonder. Like 11:11. Mm. I wonder. Flame real age if she like me and Maddie and Kaneen cause her looks makes something our age. Well, she's older. She's older, but Flame look motherfucking good. Bitch, Flame look good, bitch. These hoes can say what they want to say about Flame, baby. The body's still bodying and the skin's still skinning. That motherfucking Flame did that Tina Turner show the other day. Bitch, I was watching her do Tina Turner, baby. And every said, I wanna make $1 million. I wanna live out by the sea. I want a husband and some children. Yeah, I guess I want a family. All the men come in these places, and you don't ask their name. Something, 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 something. And all the same. I'm your private dancer. And that bitch laid back on that chair. That bitch cocked them legs out. And that bitch laid back on that chair, bitch. And them titties fell to the front like that, bitch. And that bitch said, oh, bitch, wow! Bitch, we almost had a malfunction, bitch. Girl, that bitch laid out, bitch. That bitch stretched out and laid out. No, Raven, she's joking. She's always 39. She can't say 39. Tina with them good legs. Yeah, Tina had a Tina had a Tina had a insurance policy on them legs. Them legs had $1 million insurance policy. But baby, when I tell you, bitch, I think Flame is probably close to her 60s. I think Flame probably close to her 60s. Let me see. Oh, I'm a Google Flame age. Girl, let's Google Flame age, honey. I wanna make $1 million. I wanna live out by the sea. How old is Flame Monroe? Oh
Flame
wow.
Monroe is 45 years old.
Oh no, bitch, that lady younger than me. Bitch, I know I'm not older than Flame. Bitch, you gotta be kidding me. That bitch got grown children, don't she? Girl, I'm older than Flame. Bitch, I'm older than Flame. She doesn't be making herself look like a grandma with them glasses and them hats and shit. Bitch, I'm older than Flame. And bitch, I've been calling this hoe my elder, bitch. Bitch. That bitch just act like a grandma. This bitch is younger than me. Girl, I feel away. Girl, this bitch just act like a grandma. Bitch, I'm older than this whole bitch. I'm gaggy, bitch. Bitch, I am motherfucking gaggy, bitch. Girl, Flame act like a grandma, bitch. This hoe ain't old. No wonder she still look good. Bitch, I'm ready to get this hoe 60 and saying this hoe breaking it up, girl. This hoe younger than me, bitch. Girl, this hoe is younger than me, bitch. I am gaggy, bitch. Her age not online. Okay, they saying she born in 1979, July 4th, 1979. That's when they saying she born. Like, did she give them her real age? I can't believe that this bitch, not to say that I could see it now, like I could see 45 now. But like the way that she carry herself and the way that she acts, she don't act like she in her 40s. Flame act older than that. Flame act older than her 40s. Like I'm just not believing it. Something ain't right. Something ain't right. Right. That's not accurate. Flame is in our time, our generation. Question mark is a typo. Her age is not online. We Siri lying. The internet lies. She probably told them that's fake. If it's true, she's around our age. The math ain't mathing right. I doubt that's true. She's older than you. I'm like, I mean, you would think Flame would at least be in her 50s. Cause this mean when she came on Comic View all them years ago, she was younger than me. What year was she on Comic View? What year was Flame Monroe on Comic View? Okay, she was on Comic View in 2005. So in 2005, I was 25. Wait, no. In 2005, I was like, that's 20 from 47. So that's like 25, right? So 22. Yeah, 20 from 47 would be 20, 25. No, 27. Yeah, so I would have been 27 years old when she was on Comic View. So that means she would have been 25. That means she was 25 when she was on Comic View. Come on. That bitch was 25 on Comic View. Girl. She was 25 on Comic View. I gotta see a picture of this bitch on Comic View so I could be at the clock where she 25 on Comic View. I gotta see a picture. Flame Monroe on Comic View. Bitch, we done went down the rabbit hole now. Yeah, girl. 45. I need to see the clip of when this lady was on Comic View for me to be able to believe it. Somebody sent me the clip of when Flame was on fucking Comic View in my on my Instagram. Flame looked grown back then. I got to see she never gives her real age out because of the industry. I was still in school in 92. She has not no damn 25 going backwards and forwards with Cheryl. She was not no damn 25 going backwards and forwards with Cheryl Underwood. Come on! Come on. Exactly. All right, Flame. You better motherfucking or keep your age under wraps. Another reason why I like this bitch. This bitch. That bitch got gray hair. This bitch got gray hair. Flame. Hey, goddamn bitches, that's some cancer shit though. You know she's a cancer. I believe that's her real zodiac sign. I believe she really a cancer. We might not have the year, but that's definitely her zodiac sign. The bitch is definitely a cancer. And let me see. So let me see how old Dave Chappelle is. Cause for you to be hanging with wait, Dave Chappelle is 51. Okay, let me see how old Tiffany Haddish is. Cheryl Underwood. Cheryl Underwood is 61. Some more. Wait. And then she got into it with Monique. How old Monique is? Monique from Parker. This lady born in 1967, she 57 years old. This is more to Flame generation. Cause Flame got into it with Monique back in the day. This is more Flame generation. Like, um, Flame generation is more so Steve Harvey, Monique, like this her generation. Girl, Google say this lady is 45. Google said this lady is 45, bitch. Mm, It's giving Blanche Devereaux from Golden Earls Forever 39. Exactly. I gotta go, y'all. Love you, Kaneen and Dollies. Have a gorgeous day. I love you too, Anandia. Thank you so much for your energy and sharing time with us. I like Golden Palace, later known as Golden Girls sitcom. Yeah, yeah. It turned after Dorothy left. Something been covered up. My homegirl is child in the chat. Yes, I saw her. I always love what she brings to the chat. She will go slip up until her age one day. Flame is an OG. You can tell if you listen to her talk and tell stories about her past. Right. I follow Flame for a long time and did research it back then. I like some more. Mm-hmm. I like Monique. Ain't no 25-year-old film queen having body like that. Right. Right. Google doesn't know. She's kept Google out of it. I just live how Google documents her as younger than me and T.S. Madison. Because I think I turned 48 before T.S. Madison. T.S. Madison turns 48 in October. I turned 48 in January. And they saying that this lady about to turn 46. Work flame. Work flame. Work. That bitch still move like she in her 40s though. That bitch boo school boogie like she still in her 40s, baby. That bitch still getting it, baby. All right, flame. But baby, it ain't nowhere in the world that Laverne Cox is older than you. Bitch, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying that Laverne is older than you, Flame. That's kind of hot though. I live for a girl that keeps it mysterious, right? You gotta respect that shit. Bitch, you hoes don't even know how old I really am, bitch. Google does not even have this bitch age right. Girl, ain't nowhere in the world Flame talk like she talking on a level that she on and saying the things that she be saying, girl, and this girl 45. Girl, stop playing. Girl, stop playing. But yeah, girl, so girl, we Google Flame age and got our TS TS Satchel page. We Google Flame, honey, and we Google Flame and got gooped. We got gooped on Google. It was a Google gooking of sorts. It was a gooking Google of sorts. But today was all in all was a good live. We had a healing moment on the live. Just good conversation. And I appreciated Babe Sade coming through, and we had a chance to have a healing moment on this live. So, that was really, really good. And I have matured so much since then. I was in a different space mentally. Um, and I think everything is about growth. That's why I'm here now, just like looking at the bigger picture. And I'm not saying um that me and Flame is about to combine our platforms, and it's about to be me always talking about Flame and just celebrating Flame all the time. What I'm saying is that I've learned enough about what how they divide us, and the strategies that they use to divide us. And I think that a lot of girls aren't taking accountability for the fact that when Flame first came out and Flame was saying things from her generation, because she had a platform before any of us did. And Flame was saying this stuff before it became popular. And I knew girls who adopted the language and started speaking the language, who when they first heard the word trans, who are trans girls, who live as trans girls, who use the language damn near perfect today, who were like, girl, we punks, we always gonna be punks. Girl, at the end of the day, they gonna see us as men. I know girls who were able to successfully adopt the language because they saw how it was financially beneficial for them. Though the girls didn't pick up the language and start using the language just because, oh, we love this language, oh, we love talking about ourselves in this way. A lot of girls adopted the language because they wanted a job, they wanted a paycheck, they wanted to do something besides sex work and drag shows and picking pockets. That's why the girls started saying, I'm a she and you gonna respect me as she, and I'm a trans woman and da 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 da. But you have to understand, Flame was already getting paid to say, I'm a man, I'll never be a woman. She was already out there. A lot of us, that's how we saw ourselves and that's how we spoke about ourselves. But then they started giving us funding to speak differently about it. We started getting paid, but Flame was already getting paid to say, chill, I was born male, I was born a man, da 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 da, whoopty whoopty whoopty. Y'all could call it what y'all want to call it, but she was already surviving, providing for her family, taking care of her children with the language that was available. So she didn't need to switch her narrative. She didn't need to switch her storyline in order to get accepted at a nonprofit, in order to get accepted in these spaces and places. She was already eating. But to try to take her narrative of being trans from her when she was literally like Flame still got them big ass titties, all that hips and all that ass. she was still navigating that space that was reserved for trans people. Whether you want to call it trans man, trans woman, trans femme, whatever, still a trans person. And a lot of us, some of us never converted that language. There are girls who live as women, but they only exist in the gay community. They only maneuver in the gay community. They go to work as male, and they had their little titties and all that, and they don't worry about what the straight people call them. They don't worry about what the cis people call them, because that's not their tribe. That's not their family. They don't care about how cis people see them. They ain't worried about validation from cis people. They only worried about validation from the gay community. And that's when you in the gay community, you get your she's and sissies and my Judy and that's my sis and that's my girl and so that's Miss so and so and so and so. And those girls will go to work, girl, mash their titties down, just like the studs, mash their titties down to blend in as a boy. The girls will go to work, and if they had their body work done, they'll go and blend that stuff down, wear baggy clothes, and go to work, and wouldn't care about how the cis children saw them, wouldn't care about how the straight children saw them. And so that was a period in which she rose up to become who she was. So she had already accepted certain things, and it was already paying her. And so I'm not finna sit up here and jump on the bandwagon and go along with this idea that because somebody is not conforming to a language that was really legit given to us by massa, that was really legit given to us by somebody on a plantation, I'm not going to speak about myself in that way. I told y'all what my pronouns is. My pronouns is she, and they and them. For the most part, I prefer they and them, but I'm cool with a she. I mean, I'm not gonna get mad about it because that's what people have been calling me, but I love my they thems. I love being respected by the name that I want to be called. And if you cannot respect me with that, then I even have grace. I have grace for ignorance, and I have grace for the elderly. It's if you slip up and you call me he, or you slip up and you call me by my boy name, bitch, it's not war for me. It's not, oh my goodness, I can't believe you said that. Oh my goodness, that's so horrible. I'm gonna give you some grace because everybody don't know no better. Everybody's not cultured. Everybody's not traveled. Y'all say they old, not retarded. You ain't gotta be retarded because that's not how. Again, when I grew up in Bogalusa, because a lot of us are raised a certain way, and how you are raised really determines how you're going to act. So you can't just expect, if that's the culture, if that's what these people are around, they're around people every day who see the world in a certain way. And a lot of these girls, y'all go from city to city, y'all hang in completely gentrified spaces, y'all hang in spaces that have been completely gentrified, and the language is gentrified, and y'all create these spaces for yourselves. And that's beautiful that you create these spaces of where people are respecting your pronouns and people know how to talk to you, and people gonna give you your days and thems, and people gonna give you your, they're gonna understand every acronym that's in the LGBTQIA. They're gonna understand all of them alphabets, and they're gonna speak the AMABs and AFABs, and they're gonna be able to give all that with you. And it's crazy when y'all come out of those spaces and people don't talk like that. Y'all act like y'all shell shocked, and y'all forget that we exist within macrocosms and microcosms, and not everyone is going to see you the same way. Not everyone has been taught to see you in the same way. Some people are very small minded. Some people are not cultured. Some people don't travel. And Flame deals with a huge volume of people. She travels every day and she deals with people who are very, they're simple. It's just no other way to put it. It's a lot of simple people. You could tell because our comedic landscape is not complex. The jokes are not complex. I listen to a lot of comedy today and I don't even laugh because it's not complex enough to speak to me. Like, is they still laughing at shit that was funny 30 years ago? They just spin it and say it in a different way, and the comedian still recycling the same old jokes. The same old homophobic jokes, the same old transphobic jokes. It's all the same jokes. It's literally shaming people for being whole, shaming people for being connected to all of themselves. Like, literally, if you make jokes shaming men for being feminine, that joke gonna be funny. If you make a joke about the way a woman panani smell, for some reason that joke is funny. dehumanizing women and emasculating men. That's what's funny. Dehumanizing women and emasculating men. That's funny. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. You gonna have them busting the seams laughing. That's how people conditioned. And so Flame has had to navigate that landscape. That's what she have. That's what she got. That's what she got to work with. And I'm not fixing to pretend like I don't understand that for y'all approval. I'm not fixing to pretend like I don't get it so that y'all won't feel uncomfortable. Like I'm not finna jump on the bandwagon and continue to degrade her because y'all don't get that. What my contribution is, I'm not going to move in the exact same way that Flame moved, but I can't say I don't understand it. I'm not finna pretend that I don't get it. That's my point. And if y'all choose to have selective hearing and y'all not playing the whole tape and y'all not understanding what I'm saying, then that's your choice. But continuing to further divide ourselves, continuing to segregate and separate ourselves from each other is doing more harm than good. It is making us weaker. It's making us less of a force. And so we need to find the common grounds. We need to remember the things that connect us. We need to remember our complete lineage, our complete heritage, our complete ancestry. And we have to understand that people were made for different times. And sometimes people are still in those times, but that is still our ancestry. That is still our heritage. That is still where we come from. And we need to be able to access all of that. And we can't live in trauma and live in echo chambers where we're only able to receive a certain message or a certain or hear certain narratives about ourselves and be able to connect with those, because that reduces our power. That reduces the pockets and the spaces and the places in which we are able to draw from to connect with our total selves. And this is not the time for that. This is not the time to be reductive of ourselves. This is not that season. That's what I'm saying. And if you don't resonate with that, then this is not the platform for you. And it's okay. That's okay. It's not for everybody. We got to prepare ourselves for anything, right? Right, right, right. Mm. I love a queen that can keep it cool when people are trying them. That's a superpower. Flame wasn't mad, just cracking jokes. I seen Cheryl laugh when a man said she looked like a puppy in the face. She got mad when a queen said it though. Mm. Of course, Flame has done that. I mean, the trans community now, because it's lucrative, you got a lot of girls that don't believe that really are legit saying it. I could be messy and name names, but there are girls legit out here that pander to the trans community. Why? Because it's lucrative. They don't believe in a lot of the things that they're saying. It's lucrative to sit up here and say some of the stuff that they're saying. I came up with people that had body, tits, hips, and ass and lived as men during the day. Nothing new. Yeah. And some people just don't move away from that. Mm, I know why Cheryl was upset. Flame was more pulled together than her, even with a real cooter, and will never, and she'll never be sexy like Flame. That plucked her. And you know, we live in a society that judges females, birth women by their sexual appeal because those are the ones that you want to breed with, the ones that you find attractive. And so, because women are rated on physical aesthetic, because, you know, we live in a reality of studs and heifers where they try to make the trans person be the groomer. So, you got groomers and studs and heifers. Mm hmm. My pronouns are all related to she, not they, them, not he, him, not he, she, we. I give grace to people, but not too much. I know that's right. A lot of cis people view us as men, and when we show up authentically, shit gets weird. It's not my ministry, however, I understand how some folk have to survive. My former gay mother lived earlier as a butch queen to survive. Yeah. And it's not my ministry either. Like I legit will get fighting mad um if I'm sharing space with someone and they continue to disrespect the work that I put into honoring my foremothers within me. And that's my grace. I will allow you to have a they them. If you are uncomfortable, I will like my daddy, you know, one of my daddies, he say my child. You know, that's what he's comfortable saying. He says, my child. He doesn't say, my daughter, my son. He says, my child. I'm almost 50 years old and he still says, my child. And that is how he has to communicate. And so I'll be like, look, they, them. And then if they need explanation on why they, them works, I will explain to them why they, them works because they is honoring the male and the female. If you're uncomfortable with just honoring the female, then honor the male and the female. But if you cannot do that, then we cannot share space because I'm not fixing to let any of you funny looking crackhead bitches play with me and tell me that I'm performing or that I'm being fake when I'm really just accessing everything that's in me. And that's the coochie that I came from and the nutsack that I came from. So, you know, I'm not gonna let any of you funny looking crackhead bitches play in my face and reduce me because you bought one programming that told you that who you were was based on your genitals. If that works for you, fat, then you have at that. But what I'm not gonna allow you to do me as a sentient being is reduce me to my genitals. Because if I was gonna allow you to do that, baby, I would have kept them, honey. But I had those girls inverted, baby. I had those girls inverted, baby. The coochie fell out. I tucked that girl back in, sis. I tucked it back in, sis. What happened, fat? And you're going to acknowledge it because, baby, I am not just my flesh, honey. India Ari said, I am not my hair, I am not my skin, I am the soul that lives within. And so, if I am the soul that lives within, baby, I'm letting you know, girl, that I am my mother and my father, girl, my grandmother and my grandfather, girl, my great great grandmothers and my great great grandfathers. And I am those who did not have a gender, those who did not have a sex, honey, those who were spirit and essence and heart and mind and soul and feelings and thoughts. Oh, yes, I'm going to go back to the emerald tablets on that ass, bitch. Hermaphroditic, bitch. They were self propelled beings, bitch. Now, you can reduce yourself if you want to, sis. That's your narrative. That's your journey. That's your struggle. That's your reality, but it's not mine. Certainly not me. How about that? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're taught to compete against each other. That's right. That's right, Goosey. Prune. Prepare ourselves for everything. You be said, but hey, Flame, if transphobic jokes get you paid off, the straight people who hate us, I can't get your paper. Girl, hey, look. Why just let the six this I don't I'm not one I will not go into because I want to go into the comedic world. I can't promise you that everything that I say won't be considered like a straight person wouldn't be able to twist it up and make it look transphobic. Because there are some shit about us that's just funny, and you just have to be in a mature enough space to laugh at it. But I'm definitely not gonna go into the industry calling us men and all that type of stuff. When I get my like, I'm not. That's never gonna come out my mouth, bitch. If you ever hear me calling trans people men and saying, "Oh, y'all men," da 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 da. Now I will say that all of us have not transitioned mentally, and some of us are still men in our heads. But I would never teach straight people that I believe that I'm a man and I was born a man. Like that's bitch. If you hear me saying that on stage, bitch, you know it's a fucking clone, bitch. You know it ain't me, bitch. You know they got me. So but this the thing. Why should straight people be the only one that profit off of transphobic and homophobic jokes? If we gonna play the whole tape, why should straight people because this is what happens with black people. A lot of black people, they feel like why is it only white people that should be profiting off of the racial divide, off of race baiting? You see black people race bait and create and add to the racism meal, and you see men profit off of gender baiting and sex baiting because they're like, why should white people be the only ones? Why should rich white men be the only ones to profit off of this? And so, if that's Flames logic, why should cis straight people be the only ones that's profiting off of homophobic and transphobic jokes? Bitch, at least I paid my dues. Bitch, at least I got skin in the game. Bitch, if anybody should be able to crack a homophobic or a transphobic joke, that's like saying the word nigga and you're not black. If straight people can sit up and make transphobic and homophobic jokes and they're not even trans or gay, why can't Flame make them? Why can't Flame profit off of it? This is just me being logical. This is not me saying I agree. This is me being logical. This is me being a logical human being. Some of y'all, you got to get out your feelings and you got to see the logic. Why shouldn't she capitalize off of what they're capitalizing off of? If somebody gonna get a bag, why shouldn't it be somebody that's actually got some skin in the game? That's just logic. That bitch said Miss Cubic Zirconium and Brianna Janke, to name a few. Mmm. Mmm. Hundred percent pure love said, I hate them they. My boyfriend's mom used to call me that instead of saying my name or calling me she, her. It's a trigger. That's why it's a trigger, though. I would be all right with him saying my child also. Suddenly, suddenly, suddenly not me. Suddenly, suddenly, suddenly not. Well, I mean, I'm okay with him saying my child, but I'm not okay with the he's. Like, I'll let a he slide. I'll let a he slide. I'll let you slide with my boy name. It really doesn't upset me like the drag queen references and like when the lady called me RuPaul. I'm not offended. You know, RuPaul is my ancestor. RuPaul is one of my elders. But I'm not rude. Cause where I draw the line is, bitch, I'm gonna go to war to honor everything that's in me. Bitch, I'm not going to fit into your box, bitch. I'm not going to let you reduce me to a man. Bitch, we're gonna argue. We're gonna debate. And bitch, I'm gonna send you packing. Cause bitch, that's what they do now. Bitch, they block me. Cause they know, bitch, I'm gonna go word for word. Bitch, I'm gonna read you down. Like I said, to those who wanted to tongue wrestle with me about flame. To those who want to tongue wrestle with me about any of my views and who feel like I've jumped the bandwagon and I've turned coat and I'm disloyal and the hypocrisy. Let's do a panel discussion. Get your funding together. And you can pick any girl you want. But she can have a PhD. I will eat her motherfucking ass up too. She can have a doctorate, bitch. I'll eat her fucking ass up too. Bitch, all you hoes that you hoes want to get up and rationalize and make excuses, bitch. I will chew all you hoes. Cause we gonna play the whole tape. Bitch, you can put me up there with T.S. Christian, T.S. Bishop of the church. Bitch, you can put me up there with T.S. Doctorate in sexual identity and gender disorder and dysphoria. You could put me up there with all the TS's. And bitch, I will eat all them hoes up. Bitch, I will chew on all them hoes. Let's have a town hall meeting. Exactly. Exactly. I'm ready when you're ready. Because this is about collective healing. This is not about perpetuating division and constantly keeping us divided and elitist games and who got this because they love like somebody tried to make the comment and she blocked me after she said it. She said that non-binary people are ops and they were put into the trans community and they tap dancing for massa. Well, where is my benefits at? Where's my coins? Where's my big house and my big car? Bitch, if I'm tap dancing for massa and I'm infiltrating and I'm a op because I say non-binary, like no, I'm actually because there are non-binary people that are like that, just like there are trans people that are ops. There are trans-binary people that are ops. There's bad apples, there's corrupt apples in every group. And that's why I made sure that Lay Lim Lay Lur was a space that was for all of us. It's for trans people. It's for non-binary people. It's for cis people. It's for gay, lesbian, everything. No matter who you are, there's a space for you in Lay Lim Lay Lur. You just have to be able to acknowledge the divine masculine and the divine feminine within yourself. You need to be able to acknowledge the dark and the light within yourself, the chaos and the order within yourself, the bitter and the sweet within yourself. Lay Lim Lay Lur is about doing that shadow work and about understanding who you are in its totality and connecting with those parts of yourselves so that you could be able to activate and advocate for yourself and others. You need to be able to activate, alchemize that energy, and then be able to advocate for yourself and others. And so that's what Lay Lim Lay Lur is about. It's not about picking a side, it's about drawing from all the sides and then giving your perspective based on all that you have taken in. Because life is give and take. And you don't just take the crumbs that they give you. You pull from all of these different areas because you're not afraid to do that work. And you culminate that together and you're able to make more balanced and well rounded decisions. A man, a woman. And that's one period, Pooh. That's what we're doing over here in the nation. The shade is all them queens with degrees either got them as gay men or later in life after transitioning. Let's talk about that. Oops. Oops. Yep, people need to stop trying to dictate who other people are and how they think they should be. Period. Thank you for the hearts. Okay, so I'm finna get ready to wrap up. So we did a 2 hour and 30 minute live today. This was very good. I really enjoyed checking in with y'all and just being vulnerable and just sharing, and just the love and the support. I didn't get a chance to see any negative comments because I had my moderators here, 100% pure love, and Anandia was here earlier. She had to leave. But y'all was swinging that monkey wrench. You always have amazing things to share. We had a beautiful healing moment with Bay Sade, who passed through the chat. We have had a Goozy Prune was just really sharing some beautiful stuff. And I always like when S Child number 5 comes through and shares, very, very spiritual, very intellectual, very thoughtful. So I just enjoy everybody who shared today and who added to the conversation because, child, if y'all wasn't here, some things wouldn't even come out. Like I really appreciate having you all as a springboard, to develop the thoughts and to just process things and to work through them. So I love y'all for that. So you have a beautiful day. Enjoy your day. Dan Banandara could keep spinning and turning in Gani Iyanko Kalukalo, which means I am a child of God goddess. And if I am, you are. Bound and round, both circle and square, which means we too speak life. So operations beware, sending healing to those who are in despair. El Babosawa, which means we come in peace, no harm to any Laylim Layler. Remember to light your candles. The next time I go live, I will have a candle. But y'all know I'm traveling. Chill, I done went from New York to Georgia. Now I'm in New Orleans. So, girl, but next time I go live, I will definitely have a candle. But yes, remember to light your candles, honoring the ancestors who have come, the ancestors who are here, and the ancestors who will come. Y'all have a beautiful day. Take care, and I will check in with you soon. Later.